I had a friend from Finland named Maria. Maria, yeah, and she's part Sami. Sami is the people who live in the north, the Lapland people, and they are people of the earth. These are a lot of people think all white people are the same. No, they're not. Yeah, the Sami people are indigenous. They are tribal people, like Irish people and Scottish people. But the Sami are even more to their roots than other tribal white people. Yeah, the Sami people still live in their traditional ways. They have a pipe, they have a drum, they have a teepee. Their animals, the reindeer. They have their culture is still alive. It's not extinct yet. They still have their language, and they're white people. Yeah, they're people of the earth. They are indigenous people too. They're Europe's real Indians, you can say. Yeah, and they live very far north, and they're noticing things for the past 20, 30 years now. They've been noticing things are changing up north. So that people from the north are the first ones to know about global warming, and because of what they're seeing up there. So it's people like the Inuit people in Canada, and those people, the native people of northern Russia. I don't know what they're called, but they all have things in common. Yeah, their customs and their traditions are all similar. These Arctic people, and their different skin color. Yeah, so they know something is. They knew before the rest of the world knew that something is wrong, and animals are coming down, and they don't know what to do. They're kind of freaking out because their cycles are being upset because they're supposed to. The ground is supposed to be. Well, I guess what is it? Perma frost? Is that what they call it, or what is that called? And where the ground is, it's not really ground. It's kind of like mud or something, and underneath is liquid, but it's ice. It's so cold that it's hard, and you can walk on it. All that is going. It's warming up there, so all that is melting. And see, when you see it from in the past, it was like land. You could walk on it and stuff like that. Yeah, but now because it's so warm, all that stuff is melting. It's gone. That's been happening for over. I would venture to say 40 years, because I remember listening to some Inuit people from up there talking about that. Even I think some Northern Cree way up north, that they were talking about that too, that there's something that normally that these areas are there for the animals to walk across, and now they're gone, so they're getting trapped, and it's affecting the population in a bad way. So they were talking about. See, I was in my 20s when I saw that, so they're looking about 30 years ago. That I heard a lady talking about that. And just recently, where was this in? Was this in Canada too? I can't remember where this was. It's just a couple days ago, as a matter of fact, where something like 35,000 walruses showed up on the beach. And the reason why is because, see, normally where they're at, there's big chunks of ice that are normally in the water. And as they're going about their lives, when they get tired, they go up, they swim upon these big ice chunks, and they just lay there to rest, and then or sleep or whatever, because it's so cold it stays ice. Yeah, and this is their weather. They're used to that. So it doesn't bother them. That's part of their livelihood. That's part of their lifestyle. It's always been that way. Well, that's gone. Yeah, those ice chunks are gone. So these walruses have nowhere to go. So they're out there looking for the closest land to come to, and they came to this peninsula, and it keeps getting bigger. I think the last they estimated the count at 35,000. And there's, I think it's again on CNN where they have a aerial photo of them, and it's huge. And nobody's ever seen anything like that before. And it's not a nice thing. That's the problem. A lot of people are saying, "Oh, look at that! Isn't that just cool? 35,000 walruses! Wow!" It's not cool. This is a dangerous sign. This is a deadly sign here that something is very, very wrong. That's what it's signaling. Yeah, and remember several months ago, remember people are catching crabs. I don't mean the sex disease. No, real crabs. Yeah, that people, somebody caught one someplace and it was all purple. Another one, somebody caught one and it was all blue. Remember that? And people are like, "Wow, isn't that cool? That's rare. That's one in 70 kajillion chances that something like that could happen." And I'm thinking, how can you say that? This is a sign that something is wrong. There's distress. The animals are trying to let the people know there's distress. It's the earth is in distress, and the animals are trying to tell us that. You guys, you need to fulfill and don't forget that vow that you made, that you will care for all of nature. That comes from a really old Lakota Star Knowledge story called "The Race Around the Black Hills," where yeah, it's a kind of a long story. I don't have enough time to tell that story, but the end of the story is that humans are supposed to care for the earth and make sure nothing goes wrong. Make sure that animals don't overpopulate. Make sure they don't go extinct, because we all need each other. Yeah. This is an event that happened after the continents broke up. Remember what I said earlier concerning the last Mother Earth cleansing, that when it was over, that one giant continent was broken up into what it is today. Well, the first people to notice that the land was broken up were the eagles. Yeah, they could fly from different continents to the next one, and they noticed that. They were the first ones to see that people were separated. Yeah, the animal nations were looking for their relatives and they couldn't find them. You know, and so this is why you have similar species of animals in different continents. It makes you wonder, how in the hell did they get there? Yeah, like what is it? Ostriches and emus. Yeah, they're very similar, close relatives. And other animals like that. How come they got separated? This story explains that. And this story says that the winged nations, they were very angry because it was because of the two-leggeds that this happened. Well, mainly the humans. It was because of the humans why this happened. And so they wanted to destroy the humans. Yeah. And the four-leggeds too. I think the birds saw it first. The eagles saw it first, and they reported it. Yeah. The animals have a meeting and they talk about it, and then it's the four-leggeds that make the first announcement that they want to destroy the humans. Yeah, that's how it goes. The four-leggeds want to destroy the humans so that this doesn't happen again. And then the winged nations decide to join them. And then the owl says, "Wait a minute. If you destroy the humans, you have to destroy all two-leggeds, because that's where they come from. And that includes the bears. You have to destroy the bears. And bears represent wisdom. And if there's no bears, there's no wisdom on this earth." So the birds backed off, and the birds, they presented the case to the four-leggeds, but the four-leggeds didn't listen. They still wanted to destroy the two-leggeds, including the bears. So the owl suggested that they have a race around the Black Hills 4 times clockwise. Yeah, and that when they whoever wins it decides the fate of the two-leggeds. And the race was won by a bird. I'm telling you the fast version, yeah, because I don't have enough time. But it was won by a magpie, little magpie. Yeah, flew upon the buffalo's hump and then rested upon the buffalo. They were the last 2 runners. The others died. The other racers, yeah, they died. The runners, they died. Just this buffalo and this magpie were the only 2 left. So the magpie flew on top of the buffalo's hump, rested there. The buffalo looked around, saw the magpie was gone, so he thought the magpie died. So he decided to trot into the finish line. As they got close to the finish line, the magpie flew over and won. So it's because of the magpie that we're still here. Yeah. So then the animals have their meeting after this race, and then they say, remember I said not all animals were running in this race, but there were a lot of them who did. So those that were not running in the race, they all met again, and they said, okay, the 4-legged said, okay, we will stand by, and we will not destroy the 4-legged. The 2-legged. We will abide by the agreement, but we want to add something. And they said, the 4-legged said that if the humans begin to do this again, if the humans stop protecting the earth, then we will destroy them, because that means the humans are breaking the pact. And the bird said, not only that, they said, we'll be the first ones to attack. Yeah? The bird said if the humans break this contract, they will lead the attack to destroy the 2-leggeds. So that got me concerned, several years ago when this Asian bird flu was becoming a problem. That concerned me, yeah, because this was starting to fulfill what the story is saying, yeah. So this is something to just interesting to think about, and so that's why I made that comment earlier about the animal nations are trying to warn us 2-leggeds that there's something wrong and we need to do something. Yeah, so that's it's not cool, seeing all these things happen. These are signs of distress. These are warnings that we need to get our act together, and that begins by within. And the things that are happening to the earth, and plants and animals trying to tell us that there's something wrong, and see, we're connected to this, so we should be paying attention because it's going to affect us too. Yeah, and I think it already is affecting us. For example, myself, when I was a little guy, I used to, us guys, we'd ride our bikes, like during the summertime, and it was really hot, but that was summer. It's just something it's your world. That's all you know. We didn't have air conditioners. We didn't know about that till much later. And we just for us it was like, oh, that's something that only rich people have. That's how it used to be. And so there's simple things, like people really take for granted. Like, for example, when I was a little kid, I'll come back to this other story of how this is affecting me. And this is just to show you an example. Yeah? But first of all, when we were little kids, in the 1960s and early 70s, that things like cold cuts, what we on the res we say cold meat, that was a delicacy. We never had that. Yeah, we never had cold meat. And when we did have cold meat, we thought, wow, this is a treat. There's special times that you eat that, yeah, because mostly We're eating beans and fried potatoes and just simple things, hamburger and you know, nothing fancy. Every now and then we might have pork chops. That was a special thing. But to have cold meat was like a delicacy. Hardly ever did that. Yeah. And now today, that's all people eat. Yeah, that's all they eat is cold meat. It's horrible because it's totally some of the worst food you could ever get. Yeah. And I wonder, when I was a little boy, why didn't we have that more often? And was it more expensive back then? I don't know, but I'm hoping that my mom saw that as junk food. That's why we didn't have it that often. But today, see, cold meats are cheap. Yeah, people just buy a loaf of bread, cold meat, and a bag of chips, and call that supper. That is really sad. And you do that every night. Now, man, what a way to poison your body. Yeah. I remember in my 30s, no 20s, I was off at university in Utah for a few years. I came back, and some neighbors, they wanted to have dinner. They wanted to invite me for dinner. So I went over there, and they were relatives. I was looking forward to that, yeah, because the husband, he's from the Southwest, so I thought maybe we were going to have some Indian tacos or something like that. I was really, really wishing for that. So we sat there, we visited for a while, and then the husband said to his wife, "Well, should we eat now?" So she said, "Okay," she said. So I thought she was going to whip out the yeast and flour and make fry bread and kind of things like that. She brought a big satin to the table. She brought a bread pan. And she poured a bag of pretzels, and poured a bag of Cheetos and a snack mix, and poured that all into this bread pan, and put out 4 or 5 different kinds of cold meat and some loaves of bread. That was supper. I couldn't believe that. I just couldn't believe that. That's something you can snack on, every now and then. But if this is the staple of your diet, your heart must really be in bad condition. Because this stuff is loaded with preservatives. And it's just not good for you. I mean, I eat this stuff, but I just eat it every now and then. Yeah? And I don't... It's not a meal. How can that be a meal? It could be a snack every now and then. Yeah? But that's what people do on the res. People buy crap loads of cold meat and too lazy to cook. They don't even want to learn how to cook. It's either that or microwave stuff. Put stuff in the oven. Young women, young men are too lazy. They don't want to learn how to cook. They want to sit in front of their TV and play video games. They're too lazy to do real things like cook. Because when you eat real food, and you can have a good time preparing it. You can have a good time enjoying it. And you can have a good time after the meal and visiting. And that's going to create a memory. And later on, you can think back on that and feel good again. How can you do that with junk food? You see? It doesn't create memories, and plus it poisons your body. That's sad. Yeah? But like I said, when I was a little kid, these kind of things, that we didn't get potato chips all the time, or candy bars, bubble gum. We rarely got that. And when we did get it, we enjoyed it because we knew this is a one in a I don't know. It's not going to happen that often. It was no big deal. So in the summertime, we'd be riding our bikes, and when it got real hot, we went to the pump. There was a pump in the neighborhood. They had groundwater that tasted really good. That was really good tasting water. And but we what we used to do is we go to this pump and somebody would pump and the other one would drink water. Then we'd switch off like that. Yeah. And people enjoyed helping each other. Yeah, these we were little boys, and not we weren't selfish where we just want one person to pump and we drink the water. It wasn't like that at all. We had a good time pumping the water for our friends. Everybody was having a good time. Then we put our shirts under the water and put them on and say "ee," and then we take off like that to cool down our bodies, and we ride around some more, head to the park or whatever. We always found things to do. Those are good times. Yeah, I really treasure those memories. Talking about what are you going to do when you grow up? All kinds of silly things. I wish I could go back in time and listen to the discussions we had back then. I don't remember, what we were talking about. I don't remember everything. Were we talking about girls or what were we saying and things like that? I don't know. It would be nice to see that again, though. Yeah, but that's memories. That's good medicine. I would never trade that for years sitting in front of a TV or a computer playing games. Yeah. So, but see, it was hot, but we could stand it. There was nothing. Yeah. Then something happened to my body. I don't know what it was, but it was probably in my late 20s that I realized suddenly I sunburn easily. I never found out the reason why. When I was a little boy, I could be out there all day long, no problem. Browner than heck and riding my bike and grinning with my teeth showing and whites of my eyes sticking out like crazy. And now I can't even get dark anymore. Like that, I mean. I stay out in the sun just with if I don't have sunscreen on, even if I'm sitting outside with my back to the sun, my arms will get sunburned. In a matter of 20 minutes. I'm already sunburned. How did I get like that? So you see, it's affecting us. I'm not the only one like that. There's other people who are this way. Now it's like we're allergic to sunlight. How did that happen? See, things are changing, and these are things we have to pay attention to. So I can't, if I go out into the sun, I have to put on some sunscreen so I don't get sunburned. That's ridiculous. Indian using sunscreen. My goodness, what's this world coming to? Maybe it's because I never slept in a teepee, that's why. That's my punishment. I'm not Indian enough, so my body's making sure. No, I'm just kidding. Oh my. Anyway, things are happening. Huh? I mean, but change. We have to make the best out of it, no matter what kind of change it is. We have to make the best out of it. Yeah. No matter what kind of change it is, we have to make the best out of it. Yeah. So that's what I do. Yeah, I sunburn easily, so I have to take the necessary precautions. Yeah, and put on some sunscreen before I go outside, and put on my cowboy hat, and then I'm okay. Cowboy hat and tennis shoes. Oh man, that's the res boy look there. Anyway, so when you see stories like that, it's just something to think about. When like this, what I was saying with this place, this certain beach. I don't know if it's Vancouver or wherever it is, where 35,000 walruses just suddenly turned up in a matter of minutes. That's catastrophic. There's something really wrong. Yeah? Nobody's saying, hey, let's go have a powwow over there. Oh, all right, I'll meet you over there. No, they didn't say that. They're freaking out because their places of rest are gone because of the global warming. We can't live in denial about this, because if we do, that's going to seep into other areas of our life. We're going to be denying other things too. We have to face the truth. And the quicker we face it, the more comfortable we'll be with it. And we'll find a solution. We might even find it together.